In order to celebrate Simon Hurley's birthday, he's come out with a new release of birthday stamps and dies featuring the collaboration between Ranger Ink and Spellbinders. Hi everyone, I'm Rebecca Keppel, and in today's video I want to share those new birthday themed stamps and dies and make some fun birthday cards. So first, let's take a look at this fun new birthday release. First up, we have the Silly Goose stamp set and dies. So you can see that the dies cut out all of the geese, as well as the birthday cake and the two tiny party hats. There are tons of sentiments. Some of them are just traditional sentiments like congrats, happy birthday, but there are lots of happy birthday and have a flappy birthday, things like that, cute little puns. And these geese are just so adorable. They can also be ducks because there's a couple of duck sentiments as well. This is the happy birthday stamp set and dies. Now this is a layering stamp set. There is one layer per stamp, and the dies cut out all of the images as well as all of the main sentiments. So you get a ton of dies and a bunch of different birthday images. And that includes things like birthday presents, birthday balloons, a birthday cake, and then lots of pretty script sentiments. There's a lot available here. There's also some sentiments that are more like inside the card sentiments, and that's how I'm going to use them towards the end of this video. This is the Confetti Peel Apart Rubber Cling Rubber Background Stamp. So peel apart stamps means it's a 6x6 rubber stamp, but it has sections to it. You can peel it apart or you can keep it all as one. It's up to you. And this is the Peel Apart Cling Mounted Rubber Fading Lines stamp. So again, you can keep this all as one 6x6 stamp, or you can have some fun with techniques by peeling apart the different segments of this stamp and using them one at a time. So in this video, I want to share a bunch of ways to use these peel apart stamps. First up is an easy way to multicolor stamping. So I'm removing the two center strips of the 6x6 stamp, and I'm stamping the top and the bottom with Clear Skies Simon Hurley ink. Then I'll place the second strip back into my original MISTI and attach it, and then remove that top strip. This way, you don't get any cross-contamination of colors. So if you don't want to do blending between the two colors, these peel-apart stamps are perfect for that. Now you can keep them all as one 6x6, and then you can ink them up and have blending go on between the colors, or you can do it this way. And I love the options that you have when you have these peel-apart stamps. The second technique is to emboss on neon lunar paste. If you've seen my lunar paste videos where I turn colorful cardstock into metallic cardstock, I usually use lunar paste on colorful cardstock. I really wanted a light look here, so I'm working on a 6x6 piece of white cardstock. And I'll just ink blend on the neon color, and it doesn't matter if there are streaks or lines here because this card is all about movement. And so you'll see I'm going to add even more in. So I'm using the purple color of the neon lunar paste and adding in swipes of that into the blue. Now the blue is already drying, so in order to have those two kind of blend together a little bit better, I'm doing another layer of blue on top, and that's giving me more of the effect that I wanted. And look at all that shine as well. These colors are so gorgeous and they make such an amazing background, but you can also stamp and heat emboss on them. So I use some anti-static powder tool all over. Make sure your panel is very dry, completely dry. It doesn't take overnight, but depending on your climate, you really want to make sure the paper is dry, because if you try to stamp on even slightly not dried paper, it will tear up the paper as you press down the stamp and then pull it away. But you can see here, I didn't have any problems. It was completely dry. I used Versamark ink to stamp the confetti background all in one together on this lunar paste background. And then I added some silver glittery embossing powder on top, and I'll just heat set that. Love the way you get glitter and embossing powder in one. Next, we'll heat emboss and then ink on top of the heat embossing. So I have the fine lines, the fading lines stamp, and I've stamped it in Versamark ink, and I've poured gold embossing powder on top, and I'll just heat set that. And look at how gorgeous this stamp comes out. I love how the lines go from thicker to thinner at the bottom. Here I'm using a little Distress Oxide ink because I think it will blend really smoothly over this embossed panel. And I'm using Kitsch Flamingo on top of the gold because pink and gold is one of my current favorite color combinations. I'm using it a lot. I'll just wipe off any of the ink that's on top of the embossing powder and just make sure that it's still nice and shiny. Another way to use these stamps is to multicolor stamping when you only have a few inks. So I have this one color of ink. It is a very light pink, and that is Piggyback. Then I'm going to pull off the second strip from the bottom and ink up that first strip with Love Struck. Then I'll put the second strip back and I'll peel off that third strip because now I'm going to stamp in the second strip position. So I'll peel off that third stamp and I can peel off the first stamp as well. And I'll ink up this second strip with Rosy Cheeks. And you can see how it's getting lighter and lighter. Now, those are the three colors I have: Love Struck, Rosy Cheeks, and Piggyback. So here, for the last couple of strips, I'm going to do some second, third generation stamping. So I want to make sure that I'm covering up the spots that I want with the colors that I want so that I can do second generation of the Rosy Cheeks, and then it'll be first generation of the Rosy Cheeks above that. This will make sense when I open up the original Misty. So we'll have Love Struck, then 2 layers of Rosy Cheeks, then 1 layer of Rosy Cheeks. And now we'll pull up the top 2 layers and anything below that, and we'll just stamp with the Piggyback. So now I have Piggyback, and because the whole background was Piggyback, this is actually 2 layers, and then I did a 3rd layer. So now up above that, it'll only be 2 layers of Piggyback and then 1 layer of Piggyback. I hope that makes sense. So it's just to share that you don't have to have 8,000 ink pads. You can really make do with a few and still get this really pretty gradient of color. And that's just another way to use these peel apart background stamps. Another way is to create your own plaid. So I'm taking the fading lines stamp and I'm stamping it with some yellow ink, and I'm stamping it on a 6x6 piece of paper. Then I'll rotate it 90 degrees and I'll stamp with a second color of ink. And you can see already we're starting to create that plaid. I'm going to rotate it one more time, and that's going to have the thinnest lines at the top where I've already stamped the thickest lines, and I'll stamp 1 more color of ink. And you won't believe how cool this comes out just with a couple of stamps and a couple of colors of ink. So check out that plaid. I think that's so much fun. It's so easy to create your own plaid and so easy to create these other backgrounds as well. Next, I want to show you how all of the images and sentiments stamp out. So first I'm stamping the outside layers of the layering stamps from Birthday Party, and then I'm stamping the sentiments from Birthday Party. Next, I'll layer up and create color within those outline layers. This is really nice because you can either color in these outline stamps on your own, or you can use the layers and create some multicolor images just by stamping. That is my favorite thing to do because I love to save time and I like to be a little lazy when I'm coloring in my images. So with the Silly Goose stamp set, they are definitely outline images except for this little balloon you can color in with a second layer there. The rest of them are pretty easy to color though because I'm assuming all of my geese are white, and so I put a bunch of little beaks on them and feet and a little bit of shading, and that's about it. For this first card, I'm cutting down the plaid that we created to 4 by 5 1/4 and matting it on some white cardstock, then popping up the happy birthday presents and having my geese, 2 of them, face each other standing on the presents. This is going to be a theme for me in this video because I think they're adorable, and standing on presents, I just think they're even cuter. So I am popping everything up on foam squares. I'll cut my foam squares in half to fit behind the celebrate, and just how cute is this and when it all comes together. For this next card, we'll use the fading lines where we created a color gradient with just 3 ink pads, and I'll do the same thing. I'll have 2 geese facing each other. Instead of on presents, these ones are sharing presents, and then I have the little happy birthday from the Happy Birthday stamp set that die cuts out, so I can pop that up as well. Super simple, but the background really has a bit of a showstopper look to it. This card has the glitter confetti stamped on top of the neon lunar paste. I did pop up another pair of presents and have a pair of geese on top. They're so cute. I really fell in love with these geese while playing with them, and I will definitely use them more. So I have the sentiment from the Silly Goose stamp set that says "Cue the confetti," and I white heat embossed it on some black cardstock, so I'll pop it up on a black foam square, and I thought that really stands out well with all of the other things that are going on this card. For the card that we gold heat embossed and then inked over it, I have that big birthday cake from the Happy Birthday stamp set. I've also heat embossed in white embossing powder on black cardstock the Make-A-Wish sentiment. And again, I just thought that really popped with all of the background that's going on there. This is the multicolor stamping that we did with the confetti stamp. I have a little birthday cake. This is from Silly Goose that I'm putting over the ends of the strings from the big balloon compilation that is in Happy Birthday. And then I white heat embossed Let's Party on black cardstock and pop that up right on top of the balloons. So now that we combined the 5 different ways to use the peel apart background stamps with the stamps and dies, we are going to take a look at some of those inside birthday sentiments. I mentioned that the Happy Birthday stamp set has some sentiments that to me look like they would perfectly go inside birthday cards. So I just create a top folding card base and then stamp those 3 sentiments in the middle of the bottom. And then I'll take the outside and add some tape runner to the front and add your card panel right on top. So it's great to have inside sentiments included with the rest of the stamp set. I'm always on the hunt for new fun birthday themed supplies, so I really enjoyed playing with this new collection, but I'd love to hear what your thoughts are. Let me know in the comments below. Before I go, I want to just wish Simon a very happy birthday and thank him for this release that allows all of us to create birthday cards along with him. As always, I want to thank you so much for stopping by and spending time with me today. Please stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll see you again soon. I'm always on the hunt for new birthday themed supplies. And that's it. I am always on the hunt, but I'd love to hear what you think. Love, 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 love. Gosh, okay.